Hi, I'm Alex de Minaur, and you're listening to the Functional Tennis Podcast.
Welcome to the Functional Tennis Podcast. I'm Fabio Molly, your host. Today I speak to the player known as the Demon, Alex de Minaur. He is known as the Demon for his speed, agility and ability to get balls back in play that you would think is impossible. The wider you push him, the more dangerous he is. Alex is currently 21 years old and ranked 23 in the world, and importantly he wears my favourite Asics tennis shoes, the Solution Speed FF2. Two thanks are needed today. One, our podcast sponsor Slinger, who help pay all the podcast bills. Head over to slingerbag.com to get all the info on the portable ball machine that easily fits in the boot of your car and is super transportable with its portable wheels. Also, shout out is needed today for the team at Asics Tennis, who kindly arranged this chat with Alex for us. Thanks, guys. If you enjoyed the episode and you're listening on Apple or YouTube, please leave us a review or comment. You can share this episode on your Instagram story, and don't forget to tag Functional Tennis or our podcast specific account, Functional Tennis Podcast, so I can say thanks. Okay, over to Alex. Hi Alex, welcome to the Functional Tennis Podcast. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Great. I say you're just raring to go. I know you've been practicing a little, but I say you're just raring for some freedom.
Yeah, for sure. We've got a couple more days to go. And then we have the freedom. It's going to be very special. Looking forward to being able to roam around the streets of Melbourne, back in my home country, and really looking forward to it.
Where's the first place you're going to go? Obviously, apart from the tennis court, that you're just going to say, this is great. Favorite restaurant, favorite cafe, anything you've planned?
Well, first thing I'm moving into my new hotel. I love staying in the same area every single year, and I've got my 3 or 4 kind of breakfast places and coffee places. So I'd say the first thing I'll do is go for a walk and get myself a coffee.
Nice. I say you're pumped for that. I also want to say congrats, by the way, on winning the title this year already. It must be good to start the year with a title under your belt.
It's a great feeling. I mean, we went out there to try and engage where my level was at, and I was able to bring a very high level throughout the whole week. So it was a great way to kind of start 2021, put 2020 behind, and hopefully have a big year in 2021.
Yeah, and how are you feeling? How's training been going for you?
It's been going well. I'm very happy to be back here in Australia. We've been having some great practice sessions with Cameron Norrie, and now we're just, I guess we're both looking forward to getting out of here and get stuck into competing. This is what we came here for, and I think we're both definitely ready to go.
And what was it like training with the same guy? Did you do 1 or 2 weeks with Cameron? So
it's going to be 2 weeks now. It's a total of, 14 days, our quarantine. And yeah, with someone like Cameron, it's been great. We've had very high level sessions every single day, and we both understand each other. So we were able to, if one day one person wanted to work on a certain aspect, then we would do that. And the next day we would work on the other player's area that they wanted to work on. So it was great. We've managed really well, and we're almost done. So
are you ready for the big rematch next week? Well, this will probably go live the day of your rematch. Are you super pumped to be playing Nadal again?
Yes, I mean it's great. It's a great way to start the year. It's going to be tough, but another big opportunity for me to go out there and give it my all. It's definitely exciting. I had a great match against him last year, so hopefully I can bring a very high level again and really try to take it to him.
Yeah, I was only watching last night some highlights from that match. Unfortunately, we can't post them on Functional Tennis because of ATP Tour copyright. But I did have a practice point that you had with Rafa in Paris. last year, and people went mad for it. Like, it's just crazy. It was a good court angle view, and the hustle is unbelievable. What's it like out there when I know it's your game where you're just hustling everything, but Rafa just pushes you that bit further. How are you feeling like when you're on the edge?
Well, of course. I mean, that's what makes Rafa such an amazing player and one of the greats. His ability to make you push to the edge, not give any points free, and make you feel like you're constantly under pressure. So, look, it's definitely something that we've got to prepare both mentally and physically to be ready. It's going to be a lot of energy coming out, and that's the level and intensity you've got to bring out on court with him.
Yeah, no, definitely. But he pushes you to your absolute limits, and you seem to be most dangerous on the absolute limits. So I'm looking forward to seeing it again. It's going to be great. Do you feel like you're playing home in Australia? Do you feel more nervous, pressure, or excitement? Or is it a mixture of all them?
I would say it's more excitement. I mean, there's nothing better for me to come out here and play in front of my home crowd. It's something that I miss throughout the whole year, and for me, the Australian summer is just the best time of the year. It's nothing better for me. I love playing in front of such an amazing crowd, which always have my back and have always been there. So it's going to be amazing to be able to play in front of that crowd again.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be great. So Australia to go all the way, is it?
Of course, yes.
I love it. I love it. And let's jump quickly, talk about your speed, your agility. And before we talk about that, we got to say huge thanks to Asics for organising this. You wear the Solution Speeds. They're my favorite shoes. I preach about them all the time in functional tennis, and I've been wearing them ever since, I think about 2011 or 12, since they first brought them out. But how do you find the latest version that's just been released?
Well, for me, I used to use the old Solution Speed FF, and since I've changed to the new Solution Speed FF2, I've felt, I mean, they've always been unbelievable shoes, but I feel like they've somehow managed to go a step further. It feels lighter, it feels more comfortable, it feels kind of like it's molded for my game. I'm always running side to side, and it just feels like it gives me that kind of 1 second head start.
Yeah, no, I understand. That's two of my bits of feedback where I thought they were more comfortable and lighter at the same time. So I think they've done a great job. And what's your favorite latest color?
Well, at the moment, I'm going to be wearing the yellow color, yellow-orange color. That's what I'll be wearing for the Australian Open. So I'm really looking forward to bringing those ones out, and hopefully I can have a big Aussie summer with them.
Nice, I'm sure you will. And do you have any input into the design of them? Do Asics get on to you and ask for your feedback in the early prototyping of the latest versions?
I mean, Asics is amazing. I never knew that a player would have such a impact, or they would ask the players for so much feedback about the shoe. And yes, I mean, they constantly ask me about my thoughts and what aspects I want to change, if there are any, and what aspects I like or I do not like. And so, we've always been working together, and I mean, it shows. I love the shoes, and for me, they're definitely the best shoes on the market right now.
I couldn't agree more with you. It sounds very biased, but I couldn't agree. I think they're my favourite shoes, and they're great, and great to see you out there rocking them. Let's cut back to your early days. You spent a lot of your childhood in Spain.
Yes.
How was life in Spain? When did you move there?
So I was born in Australia. When I was 5, we moved to Spain for 8 years. During that time, I was going to school. I had already started playing tennis, and I kind of played a lot of my younger years over there in Spain. And then after those 8 years, we moved back to Australia for another 3 years in 2012 to about 2015, 16. And then we moved back to Spain. So we've been back and forth a fair bit, and I've been able to, I would say, get the best out of both worlds.
You get summer in Spain and summer Australia.
Yeah, exactly. Got it both.
And you're still working with your same childhood coach?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, you've been working with the same childhood coach. Like, that says a lot, because we see so many players get to, I don't know, they just turn pro and all of a sudden they need a new team and I want a new coach. And what are the qualities you've seen in your coach going through your career to where you are now?
Well, for me, it's something amazing. I mean, I've been with Adolfo. I think we looked back on it the other day, and it's been about 14 years almost. So it's I've been able to honestly say that I've been through all of my stages in my career with him. It's been amazing for him to be in every step of the way in my career, and for us to grow together as a team, me as a player and as a person, and to be where we are right now together. And we've done it just by hard work. And look, he's the one person that's always going to keep me grounded, and the one person that I always want kind of in my life has always been there, and it's just a great person to have around.
Yeah, no, that sounds like such a solid base to have, which is really important. One less thing to worry about. Did you ever have, speaking of Spain, and you play for Australia, was there ever a big decision of who I'm going to play for, or was always like, no, Australia's the one in my heart?
I was born in Australia. I really have always felt Australian, and the biggest thing is when I really needed the help, Australia was there to help me out, and they've always had my back from day one. So look, there's nothing better, or nothing that I wanted to do more than to represent my country in Davis Cup, and I've been fortunate enough to be able to do so, and I would say it's one of my greatest accomplishments till this day.
Yeah, it's a huge accomplishment. And thinking back to Spain, your early days, any junior tennis players you played with back then, any of them on tour at the moment?
Yes, there's a couple. I played a lot with Alejandro Davidovich, who's on tour now, top 100, playing some great tennis. I've played with Nicola Kuhn, and then I've been able to spend a lot of time with training with, I guess, Roberto Bautista, Garcia Lopez, a lot of these guys that over the years being in Spain, we've gotten very close, and we train a lot together.
Nice, that's great. And it must be good. Sometimes the general public think, oh, like you're playing these guys for the first time, like it's the first time playing the ATP Tour, but you guys go back, let's say 10 years. Must be great having that relationship with these players that you play for the first time in the ATP Tour, but you know them so long. Like, that's something that I think the general public don't really think about.
Yeah, well, a lot of the players, especially when we're in similar age groups, we've normally been playing each other for about 10 years. And we've grown up with each other. We've gone through every kind of step of the way in our careers together, and it's amazing to just look back on that time where we're playing each other in, I don't know, under 10, under 12s tournaments, and now to be able to say that we're out here playing each other on the ATP Tour. It's pretty special.
Yeah, and it makes the games more exciting as well, because you know their game. You've probably practiced with them loads as well. And what's it like then when you face somebody who you've never played before? So they could be younger, older, and you might watch a bit of video on them before. How much trickier does it make? Like, how long does it take you to try and figure out their game?
Well, a lot of the time, you kind of have to figure it out once you're out there on court. I mean, there's players that you've never played before, and even though you might watch some footage on them, it's not the same as actually playing them, and every match is different. So a lot of these matches you kind of have to adapt in the moment, and that's one of the beauty of it as well, to be able to change your tactics mid-match according to what your opponent is giving you. And yeah, it's just another in-game battle you have to deal with.
Part of the challenge. Just going back to juniors, you were quite successful junior. You were number 2 in the world. Was it always a dream for you from an early day that you were going to be a professional tennis player?
I would say that, as a kid, obviously that was always a dream. But when I was 12 was probably the moment where I really kind of looked at myself in the mirror and started, doing distance education. I was in the federation here in Sydney, and I started to train full time. And from then on, I was like, this is what I want to do. So I've got to make sure I do everything in my power to reach my goal of playing on tour. So that was probably the age that I really started to take everything seriously.
Yeah, that's quite a commitment as a 12-year-old, but I'm sure that's what's needed to get there. And so you do your junior career, you've switched to the senior tour quite early. How's that transition been as a 16-year-old playing futures?
I think it was very important for me, mainly because there's a lot of players that switch from junior tour onto the senior tour, the futures tour, the challenger tour, and they often, I would say, spend a bit more time than ideal, and then it kind of can hurt you because you kind of, I would say, your level stays there. Whilst if you're able to kind of transition through those periods quicker, not only do you get more professional, everything becomes more serious. Everything's way more with your main goal, which is to get to the ATP tournaments.
It makes sense. And do you remember your last junior tournament?
My last junior tournament, I believe, was US Open. I think it was, US Open 2018, 2017.
Okay, not so long ago.
Yeah, well, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, it wasn't so long ago.
So I played juniors that year. I didn't go too well, and from then on, I stopped playing.
Let's play some proper tennis with the big boys.
Yeah, well, I was lucky that I was able to get some results, and that kind of helped my decision.
Yeah, and something we ask all our guests, whether the coaches or players, is advice for juniors. I'm sure you get asked all the time, parents and players ask for advice, but what's the main bit of advice that you dish out for juniors who want to be pros?
I think the biggest advice I would say is that you will never be good enough, and you should never be content with where your level's at. There's always room for improvement, and there's always aspects on your game to get better at. And I think that's one of the things I've always taken with me. And every day is another chance to get better or to improve at something new. So you can never be satisfied with yourself, because that's the way you kind of stay where you are and don't progress.
Keeps you humble as well.
Exactly. I mean, you're never going to be good enough. So that basically means you got to keep working constantly. So that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And thanks. That's a great bit of advice there. And let's jump onto your speed and your agility. Were you always quick as a junior? Was that your number one attribute?
Well, until probably 16, 17, where I kind of started growing into my body, I had big feet, and I struggled with movement a little bit. I was a bit quirky. I would say I worked a lot on the technique of moving, and once my body grew, I kind of grew into my body. Then that's when I started to get that speed, and from then on, it's just been constant work. I'm not the biggest guy, I'm not the strongest guy, so I've got to find different ways of winning matches, and that's one of the ways that has worked for me.
You're 6 foot, aren't you? Or 183, or is that info wrong?
I am 183. Yes.
Oh, nice. So yeah, you're not the smallest guy out there, as in from a height perspective, but you move unbelievable, one of the best movers on the tour. And do you always, are you still working on drills to help you get quicker, to make sure you're agile? What's your favorite drill to work on?
Of course. I mean, as I said before, you can always improve. Look, it depends on the day or what my fitness coach decides, but there's always a lot of sprints, a lot of movement stuff, on court especially, a lot of drills to just keep working on kind of those end range shots and turning defense into offense. So there's a couple of drills here and there that I keep doing since that I have been doing for a long time, for sure.
You'll have to throw them up on your Instagram. Give us a bit of insight someday. Who was the first person to call you the Demon?
I got called the Demon by a coach, and one of my coaches in Sydney called Ben Pine. He was the first person to kind of call me the Demon, and from then I loved it, and it kind of stuck. So I can't really complain. I think
It's a good one.
it's a sick nickname, and I'm definitely gonna rock with it.
Yeah, no, some people have good nicknames. A friend of mine, they call him the Champ. I think it's up there with the Demon. There's some good nicknames. But let's quickly run on to Lleyton Hewitt, your mentor. What's it like? I know you played him in doubles in Hersenbosch. What was it like playing him in doubles? What was the intensity like? Was he out to beat you? Were you out to get him?
Oh, it was, look, Lleyton's been an amazing mentor of mine, has helped me so much. He brought me under the Davis Cup umbrella from a very young age, and I was able to learn so much from him and all the greats and the players as well, the Aussie players. So look, it was a surreal experience to be able to play him in a doubles match. It was fun, it was exciting, and it was a great feeling for sure.
Who actually won? I don't know.
We ended up getting the win. It was a very, very tough match, and I think we just sneaked it in a super buster. So it was very tight.
Nice. Two more questions for you, Alex. One is, what have you learned? What's the one most important thing you learned from Lleyton?
Well, his biggest thing was always to believe in myself, and that I was good enough to be with these top guys. I think that's the biggest thing, to just believe that I'm supposed to be there, and that's believe that I belong with these top guys. And this definitely made a huge impact on me once I started believing in myself that I could take it to these top guys and feel like I was one of the tour. So that was probably the biggest thing.
Nice. Great to have him rooting in your corner, giving you that belief. And last question. We know you're good pals with Nick Kyrgios. What do you learn from Nick on a daily basis?
Nick and I, we've got a great relationship. I've been able to get to know him through Davis Cup, and he's always had my back. He's always been a guy that would hit with me in the Davis Cup sessions, and he's been amazing. And with him, I think we have a great chemistry. We both are able to help each other out. Sometimes I often am a little bit too tough on myself, and I forget to kind of enjoy the game a little bit, and that's what I learn a lot from Nick. And sometimes I'm able to kind of vice versa. I think we complement each other very well, and he's just an amazing guy and an amazing player to have by your side.
Yeah, that sounds like a good mix that to have and for somebody to work with. Well, look, Alex, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Best of luck in the ATP Cup, in the Australian Open. Go get them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I hope you enjoyed that chat with Alex. It was great to find out more about him. He's only 21. He's a great career ahead of him, so we wish him all the best. And after you leave us a nice review or comment, you should head over to YouTube and look for his highlight reels, and you'll honestly get tired looking at the points. They're ridiculous. I'll be back in a few days with another episode, so stay tuned. And until then, goodbye.